The closer the release of the second season of The Last of Us gets, the more debates arise around the series. Bella Ramsey is still called a miscast, Joel's fate continues to worry gamers, and the showrunners tease plot changes and a total of 4 seasons. In the next few minutes, we'll discuss everything happening with the long-awaited continuation and what other surprises are in store. Get comfortable, because it'll be as interesting as ever. Ahead of the second season's release, HBO is actively promoting the project, and the cast is giving interviews, gradually revealing more details. It must be said that some innovations are already causing concern. Let's start, of course, with the most discussed moment that has given the creators headaches. The new posters for the series, replicating the game's covers, have again sparked a wave of discontent among internet users, primarily those who have played both games, and for whom Ellie has become a deeply personal character. However, we feel about Bella Ramsey's acting talent, which has been evident to those unfamiliar with the games. Her portrayal of Ellie has been well received, with many believing she excelled in the role. The same cannot be said for gamers, who continue to criticize HBO for the miscast, though there's nothing to be done about it now. Interestingly, Caitlin Dever, who will play Abby in the second season, was initially considered for the role of Ellie. Showrunner Craig Mazin recently shared this, noting that years ago, alongside game designer Neil Druckmann, he planned a film adaptation of the game and envisioned Dever as Ellie. However, her age at the time became an obstacle for casting her in the lead role. By the time the television adaptation entered production, the actress had grown older and could no longer convincingly portray a 14-year-old girl. Though a recent casting for a teenage role approved Millie Bobby Brown, who clearly doesn't look her age, but that's another story. Regardless, Caitlin Dever has been tied to The Last of Us from the start, and in the second season, she will play the key antagonist Abby, a highly controversial character. This has been the case since her introduction in the game, where she quickly earned the wrath of many fans. Abby serves as Ellie's primary opponent, spending much of her time unaware that she's being hunted. Many viewers will likely share these feelings and grow to hate the new character. In an interview, Caitlin Dever discussed her reaction to the anticipated wave of negativity. Despite everything, she remains focused on maintaining the right mindset and adhering to canon. But here's the problem. There's a chance Abby's story will differ not drastically, but in details. Craig Mazin has already promised several key changes to the plot. At the very least, Dever isn't as muscular as her game counterpart, meaning Abby can't rely solely on strength. This seemingly minor shift indicates the series aims to subvert audience expectations and mitigate backlash. But that's not all. In a joint interview, Mazin and Druckmann discussed their approach to the second season and beyond. The creators have ambitious plans for where the series will go next. While the first game's story fit neatly into the first season, the second game's sprawling, non-linear narrative will be far harder to adapt. Thus, it's confirmed that the game's plot will be split into multiple parts, spanning at least 2 more seasons. HBO hasn't officially greenlit a third season yet, but it's likely only a matter of time. The second season's trailer set an HBO record, amassing 158 million views across platforms in just 3 days, making it the most-watched exclusive trailer in the service's history over a 3-day period. This also reflects a near doubling of audience interest, as the continuation is highly anticipated, with new seasons on the horizon. Mazin and Druckmann have confirmed renewals for 3rd and 4th seasons, but expanding the franchise doesn't stop there. Other stories within the Last of Us universe could be told after Joel and Ellie's arc concludes. For now, the creators are focused on the game's core narrative, which may ultimately wrap up only in the 4th season. Interestingly, Naughty Dog, the studio behind the 2 games, has reportedly begun covert work on a 3rd installment. Several insiders have claimed that casting is underway and some scenes have already been filmed. Though Neil Druckmann insists the 3rd game is still in development, the series seems to have inspired him to conclude the story. Certain plot lines will likely overlap, leaving only the question of which will release first. Of course, after the first season covered the entirety of the first game, dedicating 3 seasons to the next installment might seem excessive. But the second game is far more expansive. Given its structure, it makes sense to split the television adaptation into multiple seasons. The game itself is divided into 2 distinct halves covering the same timeline, plus an extensive epilogue. Judging by the second season's trailer, it follows the game's structure. Footage is packed with scenes from the game's prologue, Ellie's 3 fateful days in Seattle. Presumably, the second season will focus on this arc before shifting to Abby's story, reserved for the 3rd season. No one will rush to delve into her backstory yet, as Joel and Ellie's arcs remain unresolved. Additionally, the characters Lev and Yara haven't been cast for the second season, meaning their roles are saved for the third. Overall, the first season faithfully adapted most of the game's plot, introducing a broad audience to Ellie and Joel's story. Yet the series wasn't afraid to explore side characters and expand the world, introducing new concepts like the underground cordyceps network that connects the infected into a collective consciousness. The series team confirmed that spores will appear in the second season. They're visible in the new trailer as Ellie approaches a crevice in a wall. The air around her is thick with them. In the games, spores were an airborne transmission method for cordyceps, requiring characters to wear gas masks. The first season omitted them, deeming them unrealistic for the series' grounded approach. In real life, gas masks would be ineffective, as spores would cling to clothing long after leaving contaminated zones. Masks also limited actors' expressiveness by hiding their faces. Removing spores forced rewrites of key plot points, such as Joel witnessing Ellie inhale spores unharmed, proof of her immunity. The series instead had her survive a bite. Now, spores are reintroduced in Season 2 as they're critical to more game moments that would be hard to work around. It's also been revealed that Season 2's events take place 5 years after the first season, not 4 as in the games. This extra year implies off-screen world building and character development. The extended timeline raises questions about HBO's reasoning, suggesting expanded story aspects like flashbacks to explore Ellie and Joel's strained relationship and Abby's backstory. Additionally, Jeffrey Wright's character Isaac may play a larger role in Season 2. He's one of the franchise's most intriguing villains, despite limited screen time. Given the second game's dense plot, the series' extra year could delve deeper into his rise to power. The timeline shift also means Ellie's relationships with Dina, Jesse, and Tommy will be expanded, as they'll have known each other longer. Gabriel Luna, who plays Tommy, hinted at the season surpassing the game's scope, emphasizing world building and secondary characters. For example, 6 new actors have joined, including Joe Pantoliano as Eugene, a character only mentioned in the game, but set for deeper exploration. Moreover, remember that Tommy's wife Maria was pregnant in the first season. The latest trailer shows their grown child appearing in the series, though he wasn't in the game. A scene features Joel bonding with Tommy and Maria's son, adding emotional depth to the Miller's story, especially for Tommy. These seemingly minor changes highlight the television adaptation's strength. Mazin and Druckmann can make an already dramatic story even more heart-wrenching. The question is whether they'll continue incorporating social themes, as in Season 1, which sparked backlash. But as they say, we'll soon see for ourselves. The series premieres on the 13th of April, with weekly episodes. Share your concerns about Season 2 in the comments. Can the series strike gold again, as it did 2 years ago? Subscribe to discover new dimensions of your favorite movies and dive into the fascinating world of cinema with us.